public today, there are a lot of misconceptions about stealth operations. For instance, influenced by spy and gangster movies, many people believe that so-called silencers effectively eliminate all sound of a gun being fired, while others believe that missions using suppressed firearms are quite common in the military today.
In reality, suppressors are designed to reduce rather than silence the sound of a bullet exiting a gun in order to disguise the location of the shooter. By themselves, suppressors do not typically address the sound of a bullet piercing the sound barrier after it leaves the barrel of a gun. Furthermore, suppressed fire is normally employed narrowly within the military, typically for highly targeted missions.
Nonetheless, the tactical impact of stealth operations typically employing suppressed firearms is substantial. On this week's episode of Then and Now, we'll take a look at the concept of achieving a tactical edge through the use of stealth. We'll examine the tools for achieving stealth over the last 100 years, including communication devices, guns, and ammunition. When gunpowder is ignited behind a bullet in the chamber, high-pressure gases are formed which push the bullet down the length of the barrel. The pop that you hear as the gun is fired is the sound of the gases and the bullet as they escape the end of the barrel. It's precisely this pop that a suppressor is trying to reduce. Suppressors do not eliminate the small sonic boom that you also hear that's associated with the bullet breaking the sound barrier as it travels downrange. The sound of the gases escaping the end of the barrel can be used by your enemy to identify your position. However, it's virtually impossible to use the sonic boom downrange to identify where you are. External suppressors normally attach to the end of the barrel. They offer 20 to 30 times more area for the gases to expand than in the barrel alone. This reduces the speed of the gases substantially and suppresses the sound as they leave the suppressor.
At the beginning of the 20th century, there was a fair amount of effort around perfecting the gasoline engine, in particular, muffling the pop from combustion. An offshoot of this research was the development of a muffler for gunshots. Patented in 1908, the Maxim silencer was the first commercially successful gun suppressor sold in the United States. In World War I, the United States fielded a limited number of .03 Springfield sniper rifles fitted with Maxim silencers. However, they were not overly successful. Stealth during this period was focused mainly on moving into position undetected, rather than engaging the enemy under a cloak of suppressed gunfire. The practice of trench raiding, usually conducted at night, required the establishment of standardized hand and arm signals so as the raiders would not disclose their position to the enemy. Communication signals such as stop, freeze, understand, crouch, and come were quickly standardized and are still used to this day.
This segment of Tactical Impact is brought to you by FNH USA.
After months of training, the 56th Army Special Forces soldiers were finally in their Super Jolly and Jolly Green helicopters, crossing from Thailand into North Vietnam. Their objective was to recover some 70 American prisoners of war thought to be held at the Son Tay prison camp, located roughly 23 miles west of Hanoi. Less than 15 minutes into the operation, the command center received the disappointing message over the radio. Negative packages. There were no prisoners inside the camp. American intelligence had uncovered a prisoner transfer the day before, but the assault team had not planned for any location contingencies. it was considered far too dangerous to alter the mission, so the raid was allowed to proceed, just in case the intelligence was incorrect.
The assault team, codenamed Blue Boy, was expected to crash land their helicopter into the center of the Sante prison at roughly 2:15 in the morning, November 21st, 1970. Intelligence suggested that the prison would be defended by well-armed guards and that the assault team would come under immediate heavy fire, both from the guards and from other North Vietnamese troops in the area. The 14 members of Blue Boy were selected from a group of 103 Special Forces soldiers. They trained for more than 3 months and conducted over 150 rehearsals using a realistic mock-up of the prison compound. If I were chosen to join Captain Meadows on the assault team tasked with rescuing the POWs out of the center of Sante prison, the factors I would consider in choosing a weapon would be number 1, magazine capacity. I'd be expecting a fierce firefight once I got inside the compound, so I'd want to be able to fire as many rounds as I could before I'd have to do a reload. Number 2, maneuverability. Given the nighttime crash landing of the helicopter and the need for CQB after that, I want a weapon that's light, portable, easy to use, and maneuverable. And lastly, versatility. It was expected that during this mission you would have to engage targets both indoors and out, from close ranges to moderate ranges. So I would want a weapon that could handle all of these possibilities. If you were a member of the Blue Boy assault team getting ready to purposefully crash land your helicopter inside the center of Sante prison, what weapon would you choose? In this week's episode of Choose Your Weapon, your 3 choices will be: number 1, the CAR-15, carried by most of the Special Forces soldiers that actually took part in the raid at Sante. Number 2, the M4, a more advanced and refined version of the Vietnam-era CAR-15. And finally, the MP5, a select-fire 9mm submachine gun with a 30-round detachable box magazine. It would later become widely used by Special Operations soldiers after Vietnam.
The MP5 is the gold standard for CQB operations and would have been ideal for the indoor aspects of the Sante raid. Short and highly maneuverable, its closed bolt operation means it's smooth as silk to fire. Plus, its 30-round magazine would have offered a decent amount of capacity.
There is no doubt that the MP5 is a dream to shoot at close quarters. But on a mission hundreds of miles behind enemy lines like Sante, facing an enemy armed with AK-47s and possibly using hard cover, the MP5 just doesn't have the punch I would want in a firefight like this. I would want a lot more gun if I could get it. The MP5 would not be my first choice.
The men under the command of Captain Meadows were well served by the CAR-15 in their assault on Sante prison. At a little over 6 pounds when loaded with 30 rounds of ammunition, the CAR-15 is fairly light and is quite maneuverable and easy to use. It was the first weapons platform to offer the compact size of a submachine gun, yet packed the punch of 5.56 ammunition, far superior to a 9mm round.
Clearly, the CAR-15 was a good choice for the Blue Boy assault team, although the one they used had a barrel about 5 inches shorter than this one, which led to some reliability issues. Also, the CAR-15 was not designed to be very modular. Without a flat-top receiver and a rail system, you couldn't easily mount day and night optics. I would want a weapon a little more adaptable than the CAR-15. Exiting off the helicopter into complete darkness at the Sante prison, the M4 would have definitely been my choice at Sante had it been available in 1970. The M4 has all the benefits of the CAR-15 without any of its shortcomings. And unlike the CAR-15, the M4 has been designed with modularity in mind, meaning you can adapt it to the specifics of each mission. Only slightly heavier than the CAR-15, the M4 is easy to maneuver and easy to shoot. I'm confident that if it was available, every Sante Raider would have chosen the M4.
Beginning in the Vietnam War with weapons such as the M16, M14, and M60, manufacturers began to focus on the reduction of muzzle flash, which can provide a significant profile of the shooter, especially at night. As we just showed you, the M16 with a birdcage style flash suppressor had a significant reduction in muzzle flash when compared to the World War II era M1 Garand. Flash retardant ammunition combined with flash suppressors allows soldiers to operate their weapons in low light without being blinded by muzzle flash and making it more difficult for the enemy to locate their position. In the demonstration you just saw, we compared the Vietnam-era M16 to a more modern Soviet AKM. The AKM features a slant muzzle brake, which actually pushes the muzzle down while firing at the expense of increased muzzle flash. Now, with an M4 mounted with a phantom flash suppressor and with the use of modern flash retardant ammunition, muzzle flash has been all but eliminated.
This segment of Tactical Impact is brought to you by TAPCO.
When properly optimized, a suppressed pistol can have a reduced noise signature but still be lethal at close range. That's the sound of a Glock 9mm with standard ball ammunition unsuppressed. Now let's attach a suppressor and see how it sounds. As you can see, a dramatic difference in the noise signature.